Hello, friends. Today we're going to talk about how to decrease rejection in your invitations, which is, I hope, something you're really, really excited about. Now, I know that most of us would love to say out loud that we aren't afraid of rejection, everything is fine, I'm thick-skinned, but the truth is no matter where you are in your life or in your career, we're humans and we don't like people to say no to us. And when we invite someone to something and they say no, it often feels like personal rejection, which of course we don't like. Humans are very social. And so all of this like mindset hype about don't care about what other people think about you, it doesn't work because humans care about what other people think of them. And so this rejection feels personal. That is normal. That is the way we are wired because we are wired to belong, to a group of people. We're not going to do things that are going to isolate us. And so all that hype around you've got to learn to be okay with rejection, I think just really goes counter to how we're wired. What if instead we learned how to just like depersonalize negative response, like no responses, as opposed to us feeling like we're going to just have to do all this stuff in order to make us not human, right? When we get, no responses or a no response, then what happens is we start to feel sad, we start to feel anxious, and it takes all of the fun out of the business. And we all started our business because we wanted to enjoy our work. And so it's kind of a mess. That's all I'm going to say. And this is not just for people who are new in their network marketing businesses. This is not just for people in network marketing, even at the highest ranks. They are worried about rejection as well because they don't want their reputation to be tarnished. And I run into this too, and I've been training people on sales for over 20 years. And I remember a few years ago, it was my birthday. And so at the time we were running this huge special for my birthday. It was really exciting, and my team was messaging people. I wanted in on the action because I thought it would be fun. And I started sending messages out, and then I got really sad and upset, and then I threw a massive tantrum because people weren't responding to me or they were saying no. And I was like, what? My coaching is so good. And you don't even want to add a discount. I am offended. And I was like, what am I even doing with my life? I mean, it spiraled fast in the course of an hour or two. And what I realized was that the way I was doing my invitation was actually personal in nature, which is why I was taking it personally. And so what I did is I switched the way I did my actual language. And instead of saying, would you like to get a discount on my coaching programs? Right? They say no, that's personal, right? I switched it to, we're having a special right now. Would you like to know the details? First, that's an easier question to respond to. Second, if they said yes, great. And if they said no, they weren't saying no to me, they were saying no to the details. And so I really, really believe that our words matter. I don't think we have to be perfect in our words, but I think that if we're going to make a living out of building relationships and communicating with people, like what we do in business is we build value, and then we ask for people to buy things where the value is higher than the price, or do things where the value is higher than the price in the case of leadership, which means we are professional communicators, and our income is going to have a relationship with how good we are at communicating ideas or actions or value or listening and all of those things. And so we probably need to get better at this. So I don't want you to get paralyzed. I don't want you to be anxious. I don't want you to not do things that you know you need to do. I don't want you to say, well, I just need to do it and there's something wrong with me and I'm making excuses. I don't want you to have any of that. What I want for you instead is to have better wording that you feel good about and people feel good about receiving. So here's what I want you to consider. What if we switched join me? Would you like to join me? Would you like to be on my team? We switched that to, would you like to know the details and how to earn income with this company? So if they say yes, great, we're on to the next step. And if they say no, they're just saying no to the details on how to earn money. They're not saying no to you and joining your team. So I think that's one. Second, if we are maybe running a workshop or having an event or something, would you like to learn about how to solve XYZ problems? Instead of, hey, do you want to buy this thing? If they say no to, I want to know how to solve XYZ problems, they're just saying no to those problems or the solution to those problems. They're not saying no to you. And so this opens up a couple of opportunities. First, that language is going to get you more positive responses. Second, if you get a no response, then it's not going to hurt your feelings, and you can just be like, oh, they don't want the details, and you can just keep carrying on. The third thing it does is it leaves opportunity for you to invite them to a future thing, because they just said no to the thing. They didn't say no to you forever and ever and ever. And that really helps, because you might find a thing that's more helpful for them. This helps us to be in the space of our job is to invite and their job is to decide. Now, I also wrote down in my notes here some other phrases that you can use in order to minimize rejection or get more positive responses or just feel better about this whole thing. One phrase is, I wanted to include you. Another one is, either way is okay with me, just let me know. Third phrase is, I'm reaching out because I didn't want you to slip through the cracks. Our outreach is not to take, our outreach is to give. If you aren't interested, fourth, if you aren't interested, no need to respond. I'll just catch you later. So then even if they don't respond, you're not like, oh my gosh, what happened? They did. Oh no. We're just setting it up. We're going to be confident. We're going to make it so the wording that we use isn't personal in nature, so that when they are saying yes or no thank you, it's not also not personal in nature. I was just thinking about this saying. I did a rant the other day on like random sayings that people take as full truth and they're oversimplified. And one is people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So we all see ourselves as trustworthy, and they think like just because we're trustworthy on the inside, that if they say yes, it's because they like, know, and trust us. And if they say no thanks to the details, then they don't like, know, and trust us. And I just think that's really oversimplified. Why are they going to like us? Because we have stuff in common with them. How are they going to know us? Well, we'd have to tell stories and we'd have to engage in conversation. Otherwise, how will they know us? Like really know us? No, like trust. Trust comes from credibility and expertise, right? So if we can start to explain things in the way we're going to help people solve problems, it actually increases trust, because people don't want products, they want problems. So it's not just like this big, like hypothetical thing, they know, like, and trust us. There are actually actions we can take so that they know, like, and trust us. I think that's really important to understand. If we want to minimize rejection and have more positive responses, we need to take the actions that help with this concept of know, like, and trust. We need to break it down a little bit further. Now, let's say you invite someone to know the details about whatever. So we'll use the example I mentioned earlier. Do you want to know the details on how to earn income with whatever company? They say, no, thanks. How do we respond? We can respond simply with, no problem. If you change your mind, let me know. I think a lot of people, they don't know what to say if someone says no. They think they're supposed to come up with this really amazing follow-up and, overcome the objection or whatever. And I think if you're skilled at that and you know what to say, great. But if you don't know what to say, I would really just recommend that you say, no problem. If you change your mind, let me know. At least that makes it easier for you to do the first invitation, which right now might not be happening at all, because you're afraid of what might happen if they respond with no thanks. I can't do that, or I'm not interested in that. And what I want to encourage you to do is think through some of this. Take an extra few minutes and think about, look at what you're using to invite people and ask yourself, is this easy for them to say yes to? Is this easy for them to say no to? Am I focusing on problems or am I focusing on products? Put the request to something that's outside of yourself so that it doesn't feel personal to you. And if they say no thanks, no problem. If you change your mind, you know where to find me. I hope this helps. I know rejection can feel really hard, and I hope that you have less of it in your life as you grow in your business. So have an awesome day, and hopefully we'll talk soon.